Okay, I got some old Halo Reach gameplay here. It's a good game. I pretty much went beast mode in this game, but I didn't completely dominate them. So there will be some sort of unpredictability. I've always liked Countdown. I thought it was a good map, but it's not really the best Halo map. Now, I got this game for you guys to watch because I want to talk about my favorite current gen games I've played so far. I would also like to see your guys' thoughts too. I'm doing this because I've been bumping into a lot of nostalgic purists lately, and I just want to show people that there are good games in this generation. Even though I grew up playing a lot of old games and I still love them to death, but I don't just like play old games. I still like playing new games too, and I do believe, you know, new games can be better than old games if they're done properly, really. Okay, my first one is Gears of War 2. Man, this game was so awesome when it first came out. Campaign was so much better than the original game, and the Horde mode was beautiful. This was the game that pretty much standardized the whole survival mode thing for future games. I personally had some of the best online experiences while playing Horde mode, and I don't really got anything bad to say, although you do need a lot of time to really enjoy it. The campaign was so much more faster paced and engaging than Gears 1. I also noticed it was much harder and challenging too, so I really liked that. Even though there were some frustrating parts like this turret part where you have to kill these Reavers, but on the hardest difficulty, it's just so luck based because they have so much health and it's hard to shoot at them too. I couldn't believe they still didn't patch this problem also. For multiplayer, I've always been like a casual player, but I also know how to play the game properly. But then again, it's not really my type of game that I will play seriously like Halo or Quake. I personally thought it was good, even though it is more slower paced than the original. I also didn't like how slow the matchmaking was, and that was one of the issues with this game, and Epic really tried to fix it, but it's still a problem to this day, unfortunately. Even with all those problems, I still thought the game was really enjoyable and worth buying for a full price. The next game is Mirror's Edge. Now, anyone that knows me, my first impression of this game was actually bad. I thought it had a stupid concept, and I never really thought I would actually lay my hands on it. Until the demo was out, I decided to try it out because people were kind of praising it, and wow, it actually impressed me. I really liked it a lot. It was a breath of fresh air. Had a nice art style and reminded me of Sonic. I eventually bought the game when it was cheaper, and it was such a great game. I did have my annoying moments with it, but it was totally worth it. This is one of those games that's really fun to play when you play it again on a second playthrough, and I simply love playing this game if I want a first-person shooter, but not with a lot of shooting involved with it, but still feel like a first-person shooter at the same time, if that makes any sense. Overall, if you want something different, you should really check this game out. So the next two games are going to be Halo games. The first one is ODST. Now, I actually wasn't sure if this game was going to be really good because I thought Halo 3's campaign was pretty good, but not amazing, and generally, expansion packs are worse than the original campaign to me. But when I heard ODST was going to be full priced, and that's where I was starting to not be sure about this game, but I still had some sort of interest in it. Once it was Christmas and I got a brand new 360 because my old one red ringed, I finally got to play ODST, and I was shocked by how amazing this game was. It literally felt like what Halo 2 should have been, since Halo 2 was supposed to take place on Earth and focus a lot of that aspect, but we didn't really get that in Halo 2 much. Also, Halo 2 had moments where you would switch one character to another, and I felt like ODST was much better in this department. Switching from Master Chief to the Arbiter just ruined the flow for me, but switching to one ODST character to another to progress and learn the storyline was so cool. ODST was just awesome from a campaign standpoint. I really enjoyed the missions and how varied they were too. It's probably the most atmospheric Halo game to date. I also loved Firefight, since this was the innovative thing for the Halo series, and it was awesome. I played this mode so many times by myself, and it's just a blast, really. There are some stuff I wish Bungie could have done, like matchmaking, but it's still okay to play with friends. Some people complained about the length, but it was okay for me. I was playing on Legendary on my first playthrough, and it took me around 7 hours, and for an expansion pack, that's long. At the end of the day, ODST is better than Halo 3 in the campaign aspect, and like I said, I generally prefer the original game over the expansion add-ons, but ODST proves me that expansion packs can be better than the original game. Next is Halo Reach, and yes, the game that you are currently watching right now. Since Bungie did a great job with ODST, I was interested in Reach. This was Bungie's last Halo game, so I was hoping Bungie could really push everything in their mind to make their last Halo game end with a bang, and they totally nailed that. When I first played the campaign on Legendary, I was enjoying it a lot, and I personally didn't think it was as good as ODST at first. But every time I want to play a Halo campaign that isn't Halo 1, I always want to play Reach for some reason. I suddenly realized how much higher the standards are in this game compared to the other Halo games. A lot of the fights are really intense and stimulating. I personally think Reach is probably the most challenging and fair Halo game to date, although not the hardest on Legendary. This game has some really advanced AI. You could do this certain route and do it again, but the AI will change up its strategy, and this gives you a lot of ways to play the game and always have a challenge at the same time. The campaign overall was amazing. I think it's the second best Halo campaign, and Bungie really tried to make it memorable but also inspiring in a way. The game also had big features from previous Halo games like multiplayer, Firefight, Forge, etc. But they built upon it, like Firefight has matchmaking, or theater mode allows you to have more storage. Even with that said, I don't think the features are as better compared to the older games. Like, I still prefer Halo 2 and 3 when it comes to multiplayer, but it's still fine to me. To end it all, Reach is a masterpiece. If this game is like 4 years old, I'm going to call it a modern classic. I absolutely love this game, and I still get the urge of wanting to play it. It's really the definitive Halo game, even though Halo 4 has a lot of content too, but Reach to me is still the better game, and it's cheaper too. This is probably on my top 3 favorite games of this current generation, to be honest. Okay, I got one more, and this is a PS3 exclusive title, and it's really the main reason why I wanted a PS3 in the first place. This is Resistance Fall of Man. If you ever wanted a game that does a good job of combining old school and modern FPSs together, this is the game right here. I freaking loved this game, and it was rather addicting too. I mean, oh my god, this game is like designed for me, and I haven't said wow so many times since Halo 1. It's totally worth it for a PS3 in my opinion. It's quite tough, challenging, but very fair at the same time too. Also, the game is long too. It's not like a 4 to 5 hour campaign from Call of Duty. All I gotta say is that this game is like, it's almost near perfect. That's all I gotta say. I've been thinking of wanting to post some videos of this game, but I just haven't found the time or pleasure to do so. Hopefully I will, and you will see how awesome it is. Anyways, that's my video for what current gen games that really hit the spot for me. I still got a lot more like Call of Duty 4 or Shadowrun, but I just want to give you guys some examples. I personally think this generation of games have been fine for me, really. I see a lot of people going nostalgic mode, but I just think they're not opening their mind enough. I hope you guys have a nice day, and peace.